few weeks ago, I made a video about an introduction to technical analysis. If you haven't checked out that video, I recommend you do before moving on with this one. And I've attached a link in the cards above as well as in the description box below. So in this video, we're going to be exploring more about candlestick patterns. Hi, my name is Winnie and I make forex trading related videos, especially suited for beginners. If you're new here and you're into this kind of content, kindly consider subscribing and hit that bell icon to get notified every time I drop a new video. Without further ado, let's get started. How we're going to do this is we are going to tag team the bearish candlestick patterns and the equivalent bullish candlestick patterns. So let's start with the first one, which is the hammer. So as you may have guessed it, this pattern looks a lot like a kawaida hammer. So its shape is often like this. It has a long wick at the bottom, this long wick at the bottom. It has a small body and it has a small upper wick, and in some cases this upper wick is non-existent. So when you see this kind of pattern here, it tells you that at some point the sellers were in control of price at some point. This is why we have a long wick here. So the sellers came in and they pushed price all the way down, but the buyers were able to come in and they overcame this selling pressure and moved price back all the way up almost to the opening price. So when this pattern forms in a downtrend, and remember a downtrend is when price is consistently going lower and lower and lower. So when this pattern forms in this kind of movements, it often signifies a reversal where price is going, the direction is going to change from a downtrend to an uptrend. So it signifies a buying opportunity. But what I must say and stress here is that seeing this kind of movement in the chart and the formation of this candlestick pattern does not necessarily mean that price is going to change direction. So if you're going to take a long opportunity, then you're going to need more confirmation. Opposite of the hammer pattern is called a shooting star. A shooting star. So this pattern is the opposite, or like an inverted form of the hammer. So the hammer looks like this, and now the shooting star looks like this. As you can see, this one looks like the inverted form or the opposite form of this one. And this pattern here, the shooting star, forms during an uptrend. And an uptrend is when prices are consistently moving higher and higher and higher. So this is an uptrend. So this pattern here is a bearish reversal pattern. So remember, the hammer was a bullish reversal pattern. So where was it a bullish reversal pattern? Because it developed in a downtrend, and it was an indication that the direction was going to change from a downtrend to an uptrend. That's why it was a bullish reversal pattern. But in this case of a shooting star, which is the opposite of a hammer, it is a bearish reversal pattern, because it develops during an uptrend, and it's an indication that price is going to now start moving lower and lower and lower. So as in the case of the hammer, the shooting star, the shape of the shooting star, this one, it indicates that the bulls or the buyers were in control of price at some point, where they rallied price all the way up to this point, but they were unable to sustain this price. The sellers came in, they overcame the bullish pressure, and they pushed price all the way down almost to the opening price. So this is why this candlestick pattern has a small body and a long wick. So again, I'm going to stress this point again and again. So it's important to not just rely on one pattern. We need more confirmation to be able to take our trades. But don't worry about this. We're going to talk about other patterns, other formations, structure that we are going to talk about in future videos. That's going to help build that confirmation and help you be able to take trades. Let's look at the second pair, which is bullish engulfing and a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. So, but before we do, let's first understand what's the meaning of the word engulfing. So to engulf means to completely cover up. So when it comes to trades or when it comes to candlesticks, an engulfing candle looks like this. So we have one candle here, a large candle here, that completely engulfs or completely covers up a small candlestick. So we have a large candlestick here that completely engulfs or completely covers up a previously small candlestick. So when it comes to a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern, the pattern or the candlestick that's doing the engulfing, meaning this large candlestick here, is a bullish candle. So we have a bullish candle that comes after a small bearish candle. So when you see this kind of pattern here, this one is a bullish engulfing candlestick pattern. You spot a bullish engulfing pattern in a downtrend when prices are moving consistently lower and lower. It's an indication that a reversal might happen and the price direction might change from a downtrend to an uptrend. So let's now look at a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. The bearish engulfing candlestick pattern is now the reversal or the opposite of a bullish engulfing candlestick. So the candlestick that's doing the engulfing, so you have a small candlestick here and you have a larger candlestick here. So the candlestick that's doing the engulfing in the case of a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern is now a bearish candle. So the large candlestick is bearish and the previous small candlestick is a bullish candlestick. So when you see this kind of pattern form in an uptrend, meaning prices are moving consistently higher and higher, when this pattern forms in this kind of movement, it's an indication that a reversal might happen and prices might and the trend might change from an uptrend to a downtrend. So this is a bearish reversal candlestick pattern. Let's recap so far what we have learned about candlestick patterns. So we first looked at single candlestick patterns, right? So the single candlestick patterns were the hammer and the shooting star, right? So these were single candlestick patterns, and then we moved to the two candlestick patterns. So we have the two candle, or maybe you can call it the double candlestick patterns, which was the bullish engulfing and the bearish engulfing candlestick patterns. Now we're going to get a bit more complex and look at three candlestick patterns. So we have the three candlestick patterns, or we can maybe call this the triple candlestick pattern. Now this brings us to the last part of this video, which is looking at the three candle or the triple candlestick pattern. And for this section here, we're going to look at what is called the morning star pattern and the evening star pattern. Evening star pattern. So let's start with the first one, which is the morning star pattern. So like I said, it's a three candle pattern, and in order to identify this pattern, it needs to fulfill 4 criteria. So 4 criteria needs to be met. So the first criteria is that price must be in a downtrend, meaning price is moving consistently lower and lower, because the morning star pattern is a bullish reversal pattern. It's a bullish reversal pattern. So in order for this pattern to form, it needs to be in a downtrend, indicating that there might be a possible change in direction from a downtrend to an uptrend. So that's the first criteria. So the second criteria is that the first candle, remember it's a three candlestick pattern consisting of 3 different candles. Now the second criteria is that the first candle that forms needs to be a bearish candle. That's the second criteria. So the third criteria is that the second candle needs to be an indecision bar or indecision candlestick. So what do I mean by indecision? So this candlestick pattern kind of looks like a cross, and it indicates that there is indecision between buyers and sellers. So when you see this one forming, this was the opening price. So the buyers came in, rallied price higher, but they were unable to sustain the price because sellers came in, pushed price again lower. Again, the sellers were unable to sustain price, and both of them did not win. Neither the buyers nor the sellers. Hence, there was an indecision between the buyers and the sellers. So this candlestick ends up looking more like a cross. So that's the third criteria. And the fourth criteria in a morning star is that the third candle needs to be a strong bullish candle. So these criteria apply to evening star patterns, but now it's the opposite of the morning star pattern. So in cases of the bearish candlestick, the evening candlestick pattern, again it's a 3 candlestick pattern, and it looks like this. So the first criteria in an evening star pattern is that price must be in an uptrend. So prices are moving consistently higher and higher, and now this pattern forms during an uptrend, and it's a bearish reversal pattern, an indication that price might change its direction from uptrend to downtrend. So that's the first criteria. So the second criteria is that the first candle here must be a bullish candlestick. So that's the second criteria. The third criteria again is the indecision candlestick, the one that looks like a cross. It also applies in the evening star pattern. And the fourth criteria is that the third candle, this one, needs to be a strong bearish candle. This pattern here is a bearish reversal pattern, an indication that price might change from an uptrend now to a downtrend. So that brings us to an end to this video, and if you've made it this far, I truly appreciate you. Can you remember to like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.